I'm going to be listening to the interview, the post-match interview from Mark Robinson whenever it does get uploaded. And if I hear the same bullshit excuses, oh, we were missing McCormick, oh, like Zach Robinson was hurt or something, even though he probably isn't, I'm going to say Robbo out, man. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I feel like a lot of the reasons why, or the main reason why there was such a huge civil war between Robbo in and Robbo out was because we didn't really hear a statement from AFC Wimbledon. We didn't know how the board felt about Robinson as a coach, as a manager. But now that they've made their position, you know, I think the Robbo in, Robbo out talks will die a little bit, but the people that are Robbo out will still be Robbo out. It's not going to change their minds. They'll just be a little bit less vocal about it, unless you're on the Facebook group. I think they're right to be frustrated. They really are.
And that is the end of the afternoon. It's Wimbledon 0, Cambridge 1, Robin. Very little we can add to. Set piece opportunities, nowhere near making the most of them. You wouldn't say there's been a serious save all afternoon for Dimitar.
Several of those set pieces, either Lee Brown kicks it at the wall, Hartigan whips it in near post and it's cleared away, or it's whipped in over everyone's head. Hartigan maybe played 2 good corners. 2 of them were good, 2 of them were poor. And the free kicks didn't take advantage of them, as Cambridge pretty much won every header. Yeah, most of our shots were off target. There was a ball played in the first half in which Henry Lawrence tried to get the header in and it was wide. There was an opportunity in the second half, actually, pretty good opportunity after AFC Wimbledon had a good spell of possession, knocking around a bit. Woodyard, actually, no, this was a few minutes after, but Woodyard played a ball into Cosgrove, who drew the foul. It was a nice, incisive pass to Cosgrove. But anyway, a few minutes before that, it was good knocking, good moving. And Osei holding the ball up. It was actually a header won by the center back after he tried to hold it up, but it fell perfectly to the feet of Redoni. Redoni knocked it to Cosgrove. Cosgrove took a good touch towards his left, and then skied the shot a good 5 yards over the bar. And all in all, Cosgrove was just kind of poor. You know, several times where, you know, his first touch took it away from him. You know, he tried to chest it on one instance and it went way past. And then, you know, a couple other times where he tried to take a first touch and it just went away from him. Cosgrove was just poor, man. Why did we take Osei off? That's what I want to know. Why did we take Osei off instead of Cosgrove around the 55th minute? Osei was positive, man. He was all over the place. He was, you know, making runs on the outside, holding the ball up okay, winning a couple of headers. And I thought he looked positive. Really can't put a finger on any player that was influential today for AFC Wimbledon. You know, Hartigan, a couple of decent passes being pinged, but other than that, you know, kind of poor delivery in the set pieces. Henry Lawrence, you know, he tried to get up on a couple of instances, got dispossessed too easily, just a little too casual on the ball sometimes. He tried to split 2 defenders on 2 instances, one in our own final third in the first half. Thankfully, Ironside just kind of got held up by Hennigan. Ironside was kept quiet for the most part, but, you know, we just couldn't deal with Brophy, who was pretty pacey and put a couple of balls into the box. Smith, you know, there were a couple of times where he drew a few fouls. And, I don't know, man. It just wasn't good enough overall. Yeah, Henry Lawrence giving the ball away a couple of times. Paul Osu, he didn't really have too many opportunities to get on the ball. There were a couple of times where he was on the overlap and he wasn't played, or he was played but a bit too late. There was one time where Redoni took like 3 seconds to play him on the overlap, and by that point, when he played Osu in the overlap, Williams was already in position to shield it out. And that's one thing that I feel like we lacked today. Communication. Communication was all over the place today. You know, there were times where players were making the runs on the overlap and we didn't play the players, and then there were times where we tried to switch the play and you know, a few yards over the head of everyone. Hennigan, every time he switched the play, it was over everyone's head. Never looked like he was going to string a good pass together. There were a few times where Redoni tried to play out wide to Lawrence, and it was a good 4 or 5 yards ahead of Lawrence, too close to the outside back. Hartigan did that on one instance as well. Lee Brown, you know, his deliveries at times were kind of poor. And overall, I mean, the quality of passing was just terrible. We gave it away so cheaply on several occasions. And, you know, every game we do something wrong, but we can never... we're not making the same mistakes every time, but we're making different mistakes every time. I thought defensively we did okay. I mean, Hennigan and Nightingale were winning a lot of good headers. Henry Lawrence got caught a little too high on a lot of instances where he, tried to press on the double team on the outside, but, sometimes you gotta drop back after the press doesn't work out, and sometimes you would stay high and, the ball would be played, in behind, and overall, it was just poor, man. Just really, really poor. As for how I think the substitutes panned out, Guinness Walker played okay. Tried to get down the wing a couple of times. Put maybe a couple of decent balls into the box, but other than that, really wasn't that influential. He came on for Paul Osu, actually. I thought we could have brought Asal in earlier. Asal was the second substitute. He came on the 70th minute or so. Pretty positive, a lot of off-the-ball press. Looked confident in the final third. Chisla came on 80th minute. I mean, I don't really have much else to say, to be honest with you. It was just a poor performance all around. Just lacked quality in that lacked quality in the final third. Quality and confidence, really. We didn't really play too many incisive through balls. We just played it out wide a lot and put a lot of crosses into the box. Empty crosses, really. And gave the ball away too cheaply on a lot of instances. So, yeah, let's just take a look to see what the Facebook group has to say about this game, and we'll make it short and sweet. Ian Peach. Has Cosgrove had a shot on target since he's joined us? And I'm not saying youth is the answer to our prayers, but Zach had a good game when he played that time, referring to Lincoln, and hasn't been seen since. He's not even been on the bench. I'm not even interested if we stay up anymore. All I'm looking forward to is to have a fight with the franchise in 2 weeks. Joe Alchima, yeah. I hate to say it, but Milton Keynes are in a position to relegate us if they win against us. I was hoping that it would never come down to that point, but it seems like it is coming down to that point. Lawrence Hamilton, who scouted Cosgrove, and does anyone know their dealer's number? He's not been working out, man. Cosgrove has not been working out at all. His first touch was a touch of a rhino. I mean, several times his first touch has been getting away from him, and he just doesn't look too confident, does he? Except for the time where he actually played him into space and skied it 5 yards over the bar. His first touch was good then, but it doesn't matter when you sky it 5 yards over the bar now, does it? James Whitaker. Happy clappers. You enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the relegation to League 2. Trust that process from the Messiah Robinson. Me, I'm a realist. And for 21 games without a single win, that man isn't fit to be associated with Wimbledon, let alone manage our first team. The current board, you're an utter disgrace. You take from fans, and for what in return? Woeful and the very worst of all time as a Wimbledon fan. That includes worse than Egley Coulson. End. I'm with you, James. I'm with you, man. I've been positive. I've been optimistic throughout the season. Slowly but surely, I've been transitioning more into a realist. And it's just stubbornness, man. It's just stubbornness. It really is. And yes, it's a different style, right? It's a different style than the Wally Downs era, where we would have a lot of players who would get stuck into challenges, a lot of, grinding, nitty gritty players. Some of them which would hoof it upfield and would, try to win on the knockdown, the Joe Pigots, the Ollie Palmers when he came in, the Tom Elliott's way back then. I liked in the beginning of the season. I liked that we had a shift in philosophy. Just try to play a little bit, knock it around a little bit more, play more modern football. But it hasn't panned out. But he's continued to stick with that philosophy. And not only that, but he's been Mark Robinson. While not everything has been his fault, the recruitment's been terrible. The injuries, middle of the season, yada, 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 whatever. The budget, whatever. The budget's been poor, but the budget's no excuse, really. The budget is no excuse. Mark Robinson, excuse after excuse after excuse. He constantly says, I'm fit. I am fit to bring this team into light, to keep this team up. And, it's just arrogance and stubbornness. Something's got to change. Something has got to change, and nothing is changing. We're going down if this remains. We're going down. That's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching. That's all I have to say. Piss poor.